Don't worry.
Okay, I'm sorry, I forgot to start recording. Yes. So the idea is that you are dealing with this in practices, okay? And you are planning according to this beautiful mind map that you have here.
Sorry, Anna. The thing is that we deal with that, but we only read it, and there was no explanation about that. So we are like
Okay,
lost.
so let's do that. Let's talk about it. Okay, let's talk about it. All right. So
Yes.
all right.
Thank you.
No, it's okay. It's okay. That's why we are here. All right.
Yes.
So this, people, this beautiful mind map that you have here and the mind map that you are using for your practices is something that is taken, right? This, right? Can you see it? Where you have the four C's, the culture, the content, the cognition, and the communication. This is from a book about CLIL that is a foreign book, okay? Now we need to adapt this. We cannot take something that was written for just any context, right? What we need to do is take it here and adapt it and contextualize it to our teaching practices, to the province of Buenos Aires. So we need to try to see how this chapter, the theory, supports what the curriculum design says. Am I clear? Yes?
Yes.
So
Yes.
in order to do that, what we need to think of is what we understand by content. And by content, we always say that content, what we teach in our classes, is the interplay of these four elements, four issues that has to do with linguistic exponents, with tasks, with functions, and what's missing, contexts. All right? Yes? So this is what the norm says. And this is something that we need to follow. All right? And apart from that, we need to start thinking, because we are going to plan according to CLIL, we need to adapt and contextualize our curriculum design, or CLIL, to our curriculum design. There is a beautiful, no, it's not in this book, just give me a sec. It's in this other book, right? CLIL Across Educational Issues. This is, it has a preface by Duke Coyle, and Duke Coyle says, as with all innovative practices, strengths and areas for development need to be shared and reflected upon. Okay, so all innovative practices need to be shared and reflected upon. So that means we need to reflect on that. We cannot take, this is CLIL, let's take it here and let's do the same thing here in the province of Buenos Aires. It's not possible. What they do in Canada, what they do in Spain, what they do in Japan is one thing. But we need to think how we applied, how we recontextualize that, I don't know, that framework, that theoretical framework to our teaching practices, okay? And then she says, what is certain is that there is no single model for CLIL. There is no single model for CLIL. And that for approaches to be effective, they have to be contextualized, evaluated, and understood in situ, and owned by all those involved. Okay, is this clear? For me, this quotation, when I read this quotation many, many years ago, I said, this is what we should be doing. We need to contextualize the theory. That's why it's very important to know the theory in order to see how we put it into practice. And this is what we are doing right now. right? That's why I devoted the first semester to give you the basics, this idea of interaction, of creating discourse, all right? This is very important. Again, the idea of scaffolding, input, because these are the bases on which clearly it's going to be based later on, okay? Do I answer your question more or less? Now, as from the practical point of view, because you would have to also plan, right, some teaching sequences and projects, I'm going to give you a template, right, for you to think. Now, that template can be modified according to your needs. It's flexible, all right? But I'm going to be providing you a template for that. Yes? Okay? Ron, is it better?
Yes, yes. In fact, we found really useful the template that you gave us for the final task.
Okay. That's
so
very simple. It's very similar, right?
Yes.
I'm going to give you that template, right, with some additions. It's going to be a little bit more complex. Okay.
Okay.
But
yes. Thank you.
That's going to be the template for you to use.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Good. Any other question, people?
Yes, we had another doubt as regards tasks. And when we talk about functions, the elements of content, one of them is our tasks. And we came up with the doubt that if those tasks, are the ones that are described in the curricular design as modos de conocer.
Exactly.
Or if are the tasks that are in the teaching sequence.
In the
teaching sequence.
What do you mean in the teaching sequence? I don't get the answer. Tasks, when we talk about tasks, right? When we talk about tasks, we talk about modos de conocer. ¿Sí? ¿Cómo conocen nuestros alumnos? ¿Cómo se apropian del conocimiento? ¿Cómo construyen conocimiento? That is what we need to think about. How they build, how they construct knowledge. Okay? So, and a task, what is a task? It's an activity. I hate the word activity, but it's meaningful, right? It has a definite purpose. There is an information, I mean, we need to have an information gap, okay? That's a task. All right? Is it clear or not?
Yes, it's clear. Yes.
Okay. People, this is the time when you need to ask all the questions, okay?
Sorry, Anna, because we found that, for example, when we talk about cognition, we need to follow, let's say, the Bloom's taxonomy.
Okay, Bloom's taxonomy without the article the, right? Bloom's taxonomy.
Sorry.
All right. Yes, that's it. That's it. When we talk about cognition, we need to follow Bloom's taxonomy. Now, Ro, start thinking that it's not Bloom's taxonomy. Bloom's taxonomy is from the 50s. I think it's 52 or 62. Now I don't remember. 1962. We are 2020, yes. Right? So Bloom's taxonomy is very important as a kind of basis, but then that taxonomy started changing. Now we need to talk about the taxonomy for the 21st century skills. Okay? So that's another issue that I'm going to write it here so as to upload it in your in our class. Okay? So wait a minute.
Perdón, Ana, te lo digo en castellano. Cuando tenemos que explicar la parte de cognition, tenemos que ser lo más fiel posible a los verbos que aparecen ahí hablando de expresiones, ¿no? Cuando tenemos que expresarnos a la hora de hacer la secuencia. Entonces, tenemos que usar cierto tipo de vocabulario para seguir lo que sería cognition, para explicarlo. Para task, tenemos que seguir lo que está en el curricular design.
Yes.
O sea, usar ese tipo de expresiones que aparecen ahí, o podemos hacerlo también de nuestra manera, digamos. Obviamente, también podemos usar otro tipo, nuestro vocabulario, que no es malo, pero, digamos, como para ser políticamente correcta, no sé cómo explicarme.
Okay, yes, I see where you're going. The thing is that, I mean, from my point of view, I would accept your version. I would accept your version, okay? Now, there are other teachers who says, no, you have to use these verbs, you have to use a...
Okay, perfect.
I want you to,
yes, because
I want you to be creative. I want you to be creative, but at the same time, I want you to show me that you know the theory. So whatever you write should be supported. If I ask you, why do you think that, or why have you written this as a task? So then you would have, well, because, and then you would have to explain it to me. And if your explanation fits the context, that's perfect.
Yes, because we thought about this, like, okay, it can be your way to work, and Carolina's way can be another. So that's why we are asking all these.
Okay, definitely.
Things.
Now, what it's necessary is for you to know the theory, because if Carolina, Ana, Pepita, or whoever asked you why, you should be able to support it. And if you support it with theory, that's it. It's no the teacher's way. It's your way supported by theory. Okay? This is what you need to think, right? Perhaps, of course, teachers then are going to say, okay, now I understand your point, but it would be better if you write it in that way. Okay?
Yes.
Good.
Because it was the same topic or book, clear, but there was really different perspectives. I don't know.
Okay.
So that's why
that's important that you say that. In what way do you see that it's a different perspective? Do you all feel the same? That there are two different points of view?
Yes, I feel that way because we are working in a way with practices and another way with fundamentals. I consider that is more organized for me, the fundamentals way. We are going to say así. And when I start planning for practices, my head is a mess. I'm trying to think about content, cognition, culture, and communication, but inside communication, we have functions, but functions are inside content, and my head is a mess.
Okay, just a minute, Sandy. The thing is that what you need to do is to abstract, right, the concepts, right? That's why sometimes, you know what, when I started teaching fundamentals, I rejected the idea of giving students a template. I said, no template, you do it as you wish. And it was a mess, right? It was not a good idea because you didn't know how to start. So then I started saying, okay, no, let's see, I'm going to help them, kind of scaffolding, giving you this template. And we are going to use this template. Now you are going to see that the final template, or the one that I'm going to say, give you now, has more boxes to fill, right? But this is just for pedagogical purposes. so as to help you recognize. Then everything, as Lou says, everything is a whole. We cannot say, las tareas van por acá, el contenido va para allá. No, porque las tareas son parte del contenido. Okay? Tasks are inside content. Because what is content? Content is what we expect students to construct, and we are helping students to construct content, right? Knowledge. All right? So how? By means of tasks. When we said, for example, well, students are going to read or are going to discuss or are going to, okay? And that, I mean, these tasks are completely intertwined with the functions. Functions and tasks are one thing. So everything, we need to start thinking about a holistic way of saying, of seeing the teaching of English. All right? We cannot chop all this. We chop it because we need to express it in a certain way. All right? We chop it because we need to. Now, let's go to our material. But before going to our material, Santi, you wanted to say something.
Yes, Anna, I'll be very honest with you.
Yeah.
Until last week, when you uploaded the material and the organization, you're an extremely clever and talented teacher. There's no doubt about it. So I was very happy to finally tackle on this topic, because until that day, that was like a week ago, when we started to work on these tasks that you sent to us, I didn't understand a single thing about CLIL. I'll be very honest with you. I felt the same way Lou feels, because it's a mess. I'm really sorry, but I still, after working like 3-4 months with it, I still can get the idea of the forces, Anna, and that's a very important issue for me. I feel very, very bad for that. I really,
Okay.
I do feel that. I'm sorry.
No, why are you saying you're sorry?
No, because I don't want to talk crap about no one, but I have to speak my mind, and
Of course.
I'm that way.
But Santi, that's why we're here. I mean, if you don't get something, you should tell us. Because for me, is that it was clear. Okay?
Yes.
I mean,
but
if,
Anna,
if you say, if I give you, listen, if I give you bibliography and I give you some examples and you don't get it, but nobody says nothing, for me, it was like, okay, right?
I know, Anna, but this is the first time, like, we are dealing like deep into it, and we are having like the first CLIL meeting, let's say, with critical thinking. We didn't have that until now. Like, speak about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure.
We started reading about CLIL in the first semester, but we didn't read what CLIL was, and that's what we read in this subject.
Because the thing is that we started with CLIL in the second semester.
Yes,
right?
And now I understanding what CLIL is, what CLIL involves.
Okay.
Yes.
No soy de hablar así yo, pero me saltan tantas dudas.
What do you mean, no soy de hablar así yo?
Claro, porque yo no soy de hablar mucho, no hablo mucho, pero cuando me saltan tantas dudas y haciendo estos trabajos con las chicas, nos saltaron un montón de dudas que veníamos arrastrando hace ya un tiempo.
Anna, fed up is the phrase.
Again, Santi?
Fed up, you know, when you're tired of something and not understanding and not having the opportunity to talk about it just because other perspectives doesn't allow you, don't allow you, to do so. You know, you got fed up. You're just like,
I'm sorry,
you don't know what to do.
What I want to be clear is that for me, like I'm not allowing you.
Anna, No, 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 Anna, I'm talking about the other subject is a mess. I will say it one time. I will say just one
Okay.
time.
No,
Yes.
no, because I was like saying, oh my God, I didn't give them opportunity to talk. And I said, oh my gosh, I mean.
No, no, Anna, no. Everything
On the
everything
contrary.
we are saying is for the other subject. That's why we are saying, oh, I'm really sorry. But actually, I'm not sorry at anything.
Okay.
Because if you don't if you don't get the theory, if you don't talk about it like we are doing now, how are we supposed to plan, Anna? It's
Exactly.
really
Exactly.
we talk about it with my companions. We talk it about it every day because it's painful, Anna. It's really bad because
Okay.
we
One
have to
one
do that
question,
correctly.
people. One question. The
Yes,
same thing. Ro, wait a minute. Wait a
have to.
minute. I want to have also clear in my mind. You've seen that from time to time, or if not in every Zoom meeting, which is every 15 or 20 days or whatever, I always say, okay, any comments, any questions, for you to tell me what you don't understand, okay? So what you are saying is that you do not have that same opportunity in other spaces. Is that it?
Yes, that's
Yes,
it.
Okay.
We told her,
Santiago
but
is right.
she didn't hear.
At least I feel alone at the other subject
I do.
because we don't have clear the theoretical framework, so we don't know what to do. It's a pity because I don't really know what to do.
Okay.
And I think everything is suffering the same, no?
Okay. Now, the question is what I want to know is that I guess that the first part of the year in Fundamentos, right? The first part of the year, when we started constructing this idea of, for example, discourse, because my question is, how on earth, on practices, how do you plan, or what do you do if you do not talk about discourse and interaction in the class?
I don't know, Anna. We just do it. I don't know.
Yes, we just
Anna.
say
In my
We
case,
because
practice.
we have to read and then okay, you now have to plan and
Do you
okay.
have Zoom meetings? Do you have Zoom meetings?
No. We talk about nonsense, Anna, when we have some meetings. We talk about, I don't know what, but not clear. I'm really sorry about what I'm saying, but I
No,
mean,
no, Santiago, mira, estás en lo cierto. Perdóname que te interrumpa, pero estás
In
totalmente en lo
fact,
cierto.
we
sorry.
had a meeting because we had
Sorry. I don't
problems.
think that I don't think that we should talk about the other teacher. We can talk about the theory and all the holes we have in the subject, and that we don't have the exact tools to manage at this time of the year how to deal with a clear class and how to combine cognition, culture, context,
Okay,
communication, y todo lo que empiece con C.
Okay.
But
so let's do this. I get the picture, people. I get the picture. So
thank you.
we need a solution, Anna.
Okay, that's it.
That is
let's devise.
from you or from the teacher.
Okay,
We need a solution
let's
to
do
know
that.
what to do.
Okay, let's do that. Let's devise a plan or a solution, right? In order to help you have a clear idea of what is expected from you. Okay? From my point of view, we have only 8 minutes before the first break. So what I want to say is that what I really want from you is to be critical thinkers, to be professionals, and to be critical thinkers, right? Everything that I'm showing you in books is wonderful, people. This is wonderful. And reading this, it's enjoyable and all that. But then one thing is the theory, right? And then the other thing is to be in front of 30 kids in the province of Buenos Aires, in state schools, right? With everything that this implies, okay? So what we need to do is to be knowledgeable enough to make changes, to conceptualize the theory, and according to what the theory says, okay, let's see what I can do in my school, in this school, in Luján, in the center of Luján, during the morning, during the 2 periods that I have to teach English. But then, in the afternoon, when I go to another school, which is another private, or sorry, a primary or secondary school, right, that it's in the middle of nowhere, I cannot repeat the same thing. The theoretical basis is going to be the same. As teachers of language, foreign languages, we need to create communicative situations for our kids to build discourse. That's basic. How we do it? Well, let's see. Now we are talking about CLIL. What does it mean? Well, it means that CLIL has 3 main, think about this triangle, which I call the Holy Trinity. Okay, this is the Holy Trinity. That means we are going to teach content, language, and then the third axis is learning strategies. Okay, now what do we mean by that? That we are not going to devise a class making or focusing on the language only. We are going to devise a class which focuses on language, that means the linguistic exponents, which also focuses on content, and in that way, content, according to CLIL, means the subject content. That's why perhaps you're getting confused, because according to CLIL, content is the subject content. Like, for example, think about what we are dealing with, that is arts, Kandinsky and Molina Campos and whatever, okay? That is the content according to CLIL. So that would be content, language, and then the learning strategies. What do we mean by the learning strategies? Well, remember the teaching sequence by Alejandra, the one that we dealt with about Molina Campos? Okay, Alejandra divided the group into subgroups. They went to the headmistress office. They worked with the computer. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Everybody? Okay. She was there with all the kids and a computer, and they started surfing the net in order to get information about Molina Campos. Do you remember? Good.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
okay. So what learning strategies is she focusing on? She's teaching there something. It's not, vamos a ver qué encontramos en internet. There is a focus there. What is it?
Information sharing. I don't know. No?
No, she's working
Maybe
about,
to identify.
Sergio?
sorry, Diana.
Yes, maybe to identify key elements or key information.
Where? In a book?
No, in a biography.
No.
On the internet.
In the internet.
Exactly, people.
Yes.
Una cosa es
To
abrir un
use
libro.
to use
Una cosa... Yes, Ro.
that she is teaching how to use a computer, how to find information in the
internet, how to find information in the internet. Because when you open a book and you know that the book has a linguistic mode, mostly, right? And you know what a title is, or kids know what a title is, what a subtitle is, what a paragraph is, okay? So all this is, okay, you know how to read a book, but do our kids really know how to read or how to find information in a web page? How do you know that they know? Si todavía estamos criticando y diciendo que los chicos en la universidad no saben leer académicamente. I have my students at university, they don't know how to read academic papers. They don't know. Why should they know? Even in secondary school, they didn't teach them how to. This is not natural. I mean, we don't learn how to read just naturally because somebody gave us an academic paper. We need to be taught how to read. Well, we need to be taught. We need to teach. We need to help kids understand where to find information in internet. Am I clear? So in this teaching sequence, as regards CLIL, Alejandra's teaching sequence follows a CLIL approach because she's teaching content. Molina Campos, right? No, campus. Molina Campos. That means his way of painting, the characters, his life, that he's an Argentine, he was an Argentine painter, where he lived, and all that kind of stuff, okay? Then language, all the linguistic exponents that are necessary for that content. So that's another thing. If we are talking about the paintings, Molina Campos paintings, we need the vocabulary and the grammar structures to talk about paintings and his paintings. So what do I mean? That the content, the subject content, and the linguistic exponents are the same thing. No podemos hablar del contenido de arte si no sabemos las palabras y las estructuras para hablar del arte. Okay, I'm sorry, but today I have all the morning classes in Spanish, so it's like, okay, right? Yes? Now,
Yes.
Yes.
then, is it a CLIL class? Yes, because apart from the subject content and the language, the linguistic exponents, Alejandra thought about how to help kids study from the internet, get information from the internet. So one thing that you need to be into account is that when a book has in the cover that CLIL content, right? And then you analyze it and you see that the only thing is that they are talking about, I don't know, ecology, but there are no study or learning strategies. That is not CLIL. That's not CLIL, right? The thing, I mean, a class, to be a CLIL class, needs these three components mainly, and then we start talking about the forces. We come back in some minutes, right? Not in minutes, in seconds, okay? When we continue talking.